All right, good evening. It is 6:05, so we're going to go ahead and get going. First of all, welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. We are having an information session on Longhorn Council's first ever Day of Giving. So for a quick moment, I'd like to just run around for your kind of presenters and hosts for this evening. I'll start with Mr. Dave Knight.
Hey, I'm Dave Knight. I'm the Longhorn Council Day of Giving Chair, as well as the Family Investment and Character Chair again this year. And it sure is a pleasure. I'm also a Assistant Scoutmaster with Troop 308. And it sure is a pleasure to be here today.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bryant Butler.
Brian Butler, Senior Development Director and in charge of annual giving, and I'm assisting with this campaign.
Fantastic. Mr. Kevin Wassey.
Hello, friends. Kevin Wassey. I'm the Communications and Marketing Director for Longhorn Council, here to help put together all the resources you need to advertise your Day of Giving.
Fantastic. And my name is Ryan Thompson. I'm the Assistant Director of Field Service. I'm the man who sent all the calendar invites. I'm also a Scoutmaster for Troop 811B in in Cleburne, Texas. So with that, we will go ahead and start our presentation. Dave?
I think that the best way to start out a presentation like this is with a thank you at the beginning and at the end. But with this one here at the beginning, look at what that says. You make it possible for the Longhorn Council to positively impact over 10,000 youth in our communities. That's a lot to cover for one organization, and I am proud to be a member of it. And as a lot of y'all know, I really like the idea of raising money for something that I believe in, like Boy Scouts America and Longhorn Council. And so for all those reasons, I'm so glad to be participating here.
So we're going to ask the question that everybody's been asking with the random calendar invite. What is Day of Giving? Longhorn Gives, Day of Giving, is a generosity movement built around the concept of unleashing power and radical generosity. It's a simple idea, and it's a day of encouragement to do good. We've strategically aligned our Day of Giving, our Longhorn Gives, on Giving Tuesday, which is a national holiday focused around the same concept of making a positive impact in the communities around us. We just get done with Black Friday, we get done with Cyber Monday, and then we look to give back to those in need in our communities. And that is the concept here, is to generate a very positive impact for the youth of the Longhorn Council. It's a one-day fundraising campaign that we are running to generate awareness, to help with a concept called new donor acquisition, and to raise money to support scouting. It's a day towards fundraising, and it is an all hands on deck 24-hour fundraising program to support the Scouts and the Longhorn Council. It's a super simple concept, although give us a chance. I may have overcomplicated it throughout this presentation. Be sure to let me know in the comments. But it's you make someone smile, help somebody out with their garbage, help an old lady across the street, if you will, showing up for an issue that you're passionate about on a day dedicated towards that very thought process, just generated towards building a better foot into our communities and a better present in the world that we all want to live in. And that is the 3-point summary of Day of Giving. Dave?
Well, another good question is why. I'll tell you why I'm here, and that's because anything that the Longhorn Council of Boy Scouts of America comes up with that's a good idea to engage more potential donors to give us some money to do what we do best, then I want to be in on it. I was talking to Bryant not too long ago when he brought up the idea of me assisting in this capacity, that I'm a graduate of Baylor University, and you get to pick your university, but once you get there, you don't get to pick your football team. So forgive me for that. But Baylor actually had a Day of Giving that I participated in just this last year, and it's been going on for a few years with a lot of success. And there's no reason why we can't have that same level of success, maybe not in terms of how many exact dollars, but percentage of our donors that are, that are identified and given the opportunity. I think is where we need to go with that. And so this is and I'll just read the slide here to help donors and scouters feel like they are part of something bigger. It offers an easy way for current donors to continue supporting scouting, and offers an easy way for prospective donors to begin supporting scouting. It allows people a way to share how scouting impacts them personally. Easy way is up there twice, and that's for a reason. This consolidated single day of giving is a wonderful, well, gosh, it's kind of like a marketing tool to be able to approach and sell someone on the concept and then turn that into the valuable dollars that we need to continue the program here in Longhorn Council.
Absolutely. So what are we hoping to accomplish with the units? We've got our unit coordinator position, which is very similar to the unit coordinator position that we have engaged in a number of years looking backwards, and hopefully for a number of years looking forward. But this person is going to be our chief promoter for the Day of Giving in the unit. There's a number of slides here talking on Day of Giving coordinator responsibilities, but you will see some very, very, very common themes here. So the number one responsibility we're hoping for is that the unit coordinator will share and review all messaging and material with unit leaders. They'll share the unit goals, incentives, and messaging with the parents, and they'll help to identify matching gifts within the unit to help support the Day of Giving. The unit coordinator responsibilities for the day of, this is a heavy driven social media campaign because we are looking to engage in a new donor acquisition capacity on the Day of Giving. We're asking for people to post fervently about the Day of Giving on their social media. We'll be posting on our social media all day. We're asking for the unit coordinators to communicate with all parents and leaders. We're asking the unit coordinator to personally make a gift to lead out that campaign. For those of you familiar with Zig Ziglar, you can't sell the vacuum if you don't own the vacuum. So when we talk about making an appeal to have people support scouting, the best way to do that is to be the lead in your unit, make that commitment, and track everything for your unit's progress towards its goal. Because as you'll see later in the presentation, we do have some incentives tied up around that. We want to make sure that every unit is in a position to help us support the tracking we'll be doing internally. When it comes to day of for new donor acquisition, we're asking, this is a very, very critical component of the unit coordinator position. Annually, when you look at fundraising or generosity movements, you're only ever going to renew 75 to 80% of the people who were in a position to support in years past. And so we're always looking for new people to add to campaign, and unleashing the power of social media, shares and likes. Can't say that enough, shares and likes on every social media platform. You're going to do that by adding new donors. You don't even know who you're connected to that has been touched by Scouting's program. And as you're engaging in that thought process, you want to think, who do you know in the unit that owns a small business who could maybe help you secure, a $250 or a $500 level of support to help engage scouts. You want to think about who works for small or locally oriented businesses that might give. We want to encourage sharing messages to extended family as well, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle. These people are great to impact the lives of scouts and the Longhorn Council just through simple like and share on the post. And we want to reach out to the unit alumni. I know I'm in a unit in Cleburne, and we've got 60 years worth of history, and I've already got a short list of people in the community that I've been meeting with and talking to. And they say, "Oh, well, I was in Troop 811." I'm like, "Well, great, you're now on my list because I'm going to call you on November 28th and say, remember you told me you were on my list? Well, today's the day. You're going to help us continue to support the kids in our communities by helping us grow this financial support. The campaign is a single day of giving. That's where we want everything to happen on the 28th, but we do understand we're working with units and sometimes parents aren't as timely as we would like. So we're expanding this for our units only, not our community supporters, but our units only. They will have an expanded window to achieve their unit goal, to take advantage of the incentive structure that we have in place for this. So post day of giving, after the 28th, starting on the 29th, we're asking the unit coordinators to share with their units if they have or if they have not reached their goal and how far they are away from it. We're asking the unit coordinator to follow up with every person in the campaign that has not participated for Day of Giving yet. And we're asking for the unit coordinator to deliver pledges or donations they may have individually collected to their district executive, although this is a heavy online giving platform. And so we are going to encourage every single financial support level to happen online throughout the Day of Giving. So that's kind of the overview of the unit coordinator responsibilities. So what does the timeline look like? Well, you can see right now, we are working through our training for our chairs and our unit coordinators. We are looking for, by November 10th, we'd like to see volunteers recruited for phone trees on the Day of Giving, because we will be targeting a high number of people who have given in the past. We'll be calling throughout the day to generate support for the Day of Giving. We have a promotion kit put together, but it's just a sample, as Kevin will talk about in his pitch. We'll have an updated promotion kit that we'll be providing every single unit, so they don't even have to think about generating content. They can copy and paste. It's as simple as throwing up a picture and posting it so people can share out, or a personal testimony. And by November 10th, we'll have a video training for our phone call volunteers in every unit, in every district, so that they have, well, I've got a phone, I've got a list, what do I do now? And so we'll have all that put together. And all that is leading up to preparation for November 28th. We are strategically running this training about 1 month ahead of time, so we can start saturating our social media, our personal social media, our unit social media, the council social media, with all the promotions for Day of Giving over the next 4 weeks. And then after the 28th, of course, we have an opportunity for units to continue to do follow-up calls and emails. Our drop dead deadline for your unit to qualify for the incentive structure is December 31, 2023. So that's kind of the overview of the timeline and the unit coordinator position. So do we still have Bryant here on the call?
I'm on the call. Thank you, good sir. Excellent. Unit incentives. So feedback is a gift, and we received feedback over the prior year about the fact that some units don't really like to be bothered during their blue and gold or their court of honor. So this is the perfect opportunity to be able to opt out of scheduling a blue and gold or a court of honor for a family investment and character presentation. Also, feedback that was given to us was that units like to have monetary goals. Last year, each unit didn't have its own individual goal. We heard that feedback, and each unit now does have a goal. That goal will be shared to you or shared with you by your district executive. But like Ryan alluded to earlier, if your unit reaches your goal, there's a very key part of this. Yes, reaching the goal is one step, but then also having 25% participation in the actual campaign is important. But the other side of that is also that the goal needs to be paid by December 15th of 2024. So that's very important. You reach you can reach that goal number in by December 31st, but then you also have to pay it off the following year by December 15th. So there's a few components to that, and we'll drill down and have more details as we move along with the campaign. Thank you, Ryan.
Perfect. Thank you, Brian. Dave?
Yeah. You see this on this slide that the council goal is to have 1,000 scouts supported. And of course, we're taking that same kind of figure and dividing the number of dollars raised into how many scouts that will support. And so that's the idea there. It's not necessarily a dollar amount as much as it is taking the amount of money that's going to come in on the day of giving and looking at it in terms of how many scouts were supported or impacted or got some sort of benefit out of this one day. And that's another good marketing tool about it. It's another good way to look at it, and something that I think is that is extremely effective. The unit goal, of course, is going to be specific to the number of scouts that are in each unit, just like it always has been. And so that's why we put to contact your DE up there. Now, did I leave anything out on that?
You didn't. There's a formula, and hopefully your district executive can help explain it a little bit. It is based off of June 30th membership from 2023. And historically, that is the lowest point of membership for every unit in the entire year. And we do and did take into account families that have multiple scouts. There's a calculation in there for multiple scouts in every unit goal. So, but the formula is kind of complicated to explain, and I didn't think we should do the brain damage of trying to get through that activity here this evening. So, here's the big takeaway there. Your district executive has your goal, and if you're interested in what your goal is, and hopefully you are, you can contact them right now. You can text them. They have that in their possession. So feel free to reach out to them and they'll be able to communicate that to you. All right. And now, Mr. Wassey.
Thank you so much. As Ryan mentioned, a lot of this campaign is social media driven. So we have begun the process of creating a variety of resources that are easily shared via social media. So he's heading over to our toolkit, which is going to open up in a folder where you'll be able to download some image files. So we're going to show you a little bit of the branding around the Day of Giving. And just a quick heads up, this branding does match some of the other resources we have, generally speaking, for Investment in Character 2024. So
You just tell me where you want to go, Kevin.
oh yeah, if you want to just jump into the social media square images. So right now we've got two different levels of imagery. We have general square images. So we see this Day of Giving logo. And I know this does kind of downsize the quality a little bit as we're looking at it through this web-based feature, but these are all high quality images and they cover all ages and all genders of our scouts. So you'll be able to share these on your unit social media pages. You'll be able to get these in the hands of your parents, your volunteer leaders, and they'll be able to share these as well. We'll also take and create some branding for the day of, where you can say, I gave. And these images aren't created yet, but they'll be added to this folder where you'll be able to tell your scouting story and then share an image that says, hey, I gave. And I'll also be putting together a pretty nifty opportunity where you'll be able to actually insert your own scouting photo into the background of these and export them. So you can have a picture of yourself as you look at this kind of image of the scouts by the mountain. Imagine if that was a picture of you and your family, you and your scout in the background as well. So we do that by allowing you to just jump into a quick PowerPoint file, switch out the image, export it as an image file, and you'll be able to share that via social media. So kind of wild, creative idea, but it's a great way to connect your images with the branding, not just the images that we provide. Outside of these square images, we also have story images. So if you're a Instagram or Facebook user and you enjoy posting to your story, you can definitely do that as well. And you'll have the opportunity on these story posts where you could even add a link where people could click in and make a gift as they kind of scroll through your story and see the post that you have. So a lot of really fun, exciting assets. This, again, as I mentioned earlier, does match some of our additional campaign assets. Our trifolds that we use for our IC presentations will match the look and feel of the Day of Giving as well. So it'll be a cohesive campaign. Hopefully your families are participating in November on the 28th. But for those who are going to be catching up a little bit later with their 2024 IC gift, they'll be able to kind of recognize and see the look and feel of this campaign. So really excited to get those resources to you. Ryan will be sharing out the folder link so you can download those things, and we'll be creating more assets and dropping them in. and sending them your way as they are created. So make sure you're liking and following our social medias at Longhorn Council BSA on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also, we'll be updating our website to match this as well. If you go to longhorncouncil.org/give, in the next few days, it'll match the look and feel of this campaign. So really excited
Perfect.
to share that with you guys.
Excellent. Thank you. So one of the
Hey,
big
Ryan.
highlights for Brian, go ahead.
No, I got so excited about the incentive part, I forgot to say what the actual incentive was, which was meet the goals that are set before each unit, and they qualify for free rank cloth advancement in 2025.
Oh, perfect. Real quick, as I know you've got to get running, this campaign will qualify for the incentive structure as we've had it in the past, where we have different tchotchkes and bling. Would you mind taking a second and just talking about that before you jump off, Ryan?
Yes. So each gift will receive a patch. We're working on the IC patch. So each gift will receive a patch regardless of the level of gift. If you reach the $400 threshold, you will receive a wrench multi-tool. For those of you who gave at that level last year, may be aware that we had a hammer multi-tool last year. So we thought, what better thing could we give than a wrench to combine the two? So if you give it 400, you receive the wrench, multi-tool, and patch. And if you give it the $800 and up level, you receive the patch, the wrench, multi-tool, and a black and silver branded IC24 campaign branded coffee mug, complete with the lid. So those are the recognition items.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you.
Sir.
All right, back to the social media page here. I just wanted to take a second and talk about best practices for day of. We do want to see social media pages flooded. I know I've personally connected with a number of unit leaders here since I've moved to town, and so I'm hoping that my share, my post will be liked and shared by a number of people. But I'd like to see every volunteer in the Longhorn Council do that. Personally, scouting's had a tremendous impact on my life. It was a super constant thing for me when I was young, growing up in a less than steady household structure. It was incredibly impactful for me, and it was a safe space for me to just be a kid. And I didn't have a lot of those, so it was very impactful to the point where when I had the opportunity to engage with my kids, I signed my boy up. I've already had he made it to Eagle right at the top of the pandemic. My eldest daughter, she's also an Eagle Scout. I've got 4 children. My third child, Allison, she's just started work on her Eagle Scout project, and Trinity is getting ready to hopefully have a Scoutmaster conference tonight so she can become live. This has just been a tremendously impactful thing for my family, and I'd like to share that with everybody. But it does take resources to do that. So I'd like to see everyone share a story like that on their day of, so that it can have the impact, because this is a special thing for all of us. It's had a huge impact. I'll tell you that on the day of, I will probably sit down with my fancy camera called the iPhone and just record a little bit of like, hey, my name's Ryan. You should support Scouts because I support Scouts, and this is a cool thing, and this is what you should. This is why I give. And I may record a series of little why I give videos so I can post those and get them on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm sure there are others that I'll have to download and become familiar with. But videos are very impactful when it comes from one person to another saying, like, this is what I'm doing. I do try to keep those to like 15 seconds. Because if I go beyond that, I'm probably going to lose somebody's attention. But just short stories like that, and we'll have some sample scripts and stuff that'll be in the unit toolkit. But we will want to encourage everyone to have that level of feedback. All right. So I'm sharing this. A good friend of mine, Rich Mesquil, he is a huge supporter of the Day of Giving concept, and so he's participated in this type of thing back in the great state of Ohio. And here's just a couple of quick social media posts on how things go on the Day of Giving. Rich has helped raise, we'll just say, a lot of money on the day of giving for the council that this comes from. And you can see, like, he's got these amazing pictures of his kids and himself as they grow through the program. And over on the left hand side of the page, it talks about when he took his Eagle Scout pledge. And yeah, Rich is an amazing guy. So just a little bit of a sample on what we can look for. Kevin, you want to talk about this real quick, just to highlight a couple things? Or
Well, first of all, I know Rich personally. He's an amazing scouter. He and his son Ben were just at the World Scout Jamboree this summer. I've watched his son grow up from being a newborn to being an Eagle Scout, and they are really the epitome of all things scouting. So he's a huge advocate for training leaders. Very active with Wood Badge in his home council, and he does a great job of telling the scouting story through social media. So as you can see here, pictures of him and his family and their experiences as he grew up through the program as well. And again, it's the little touches like this that help connect people. And the other nice thing that you can do as you're sharing these posts is make sure you're tagging your community in these things. So be wary of whether or not a post is only can only be viewed by your friends. These are posts that you want to make public. These are posts that you want to make sure can be shared and tagged, so that you're not just kind of speaking in an echo chamber. You want to make sure that the message is getting out to others in the community beyond your own followers. So this is a great example of what that looks like. And again, you should be proud of your scouting experience. You should be proud of the scouting experience of your kids. So tell that story, share that story. And those are the things that really pull at the heartstrings and help make campaigns like this extremely successful.
that's great. Thank you. I also know Rich, and everything Kevin Wassey said is true. If y'all ever have a chance to meet Rich Meskill, you'll want to just be in his presence like the rest of us, because he's amazing. I threw a couple of quick pictures. These are kind of my favorite pictures so far as I was putting the presentation together. These are great pictures here, but we want to make sure everything we're doing is driving everybody back to longhorncouncil.org/give, because that's going to be the major vehicle for everything we are doing for the day of giving, is drive it back to that one link, so we can really effectively track all of your units progression. Our internal support personnel, Kathy McLean, she's gonna probably pull her hair out on November 28th, but she'll be tracking progress and everything we're doing for the day of. We're going to ask all of our district leadership to make their commitments on the 28th. We're going to ask all of our unit leaders to make their leading commitments on behalf of their unit on the 28th, because we really just want to stand up in the community and say, we care about this program, we care about these kids, and we're gonna show it here on the day of giving.
We've talked about social media, but one thing we don't want to utilize is the donation platforms through things like Facebook. Although we do appreciate when people have birthday fundraisers through Facebook, we really want to drive people to longhorncouncil.org/give. That way we can track who gives and how much money. When you go through a third-party system like Facebook fundraising platforms, we don't get to see who the people are that are donating to those campaigns. So it's really important to focus on driving people to this link, as Ryan said.
Excellent. All right. So here's the point of the conversation where we open it up to questions and answers.
Hey Ryan, Simon McLean here. How are you?
Good. How are you, Simon?
Good. Hey, it looks like we don't have a huge number of people on the line, although I know you invited many more. Are you going to be doing any kind of an email blast out to units as well? I'll certainly take care of my district, but it looks like we're going to have to get the word out to more people if you're looking for coordinators at the unit level.
Yes, we are going to be doing some more email marketed branding and promotions around the campaign. Our district executive staff will be taking this presentation, which has been recorded. They'll be taking this presentation and sharing it with the unit leaders, so we can really get the word out and spread it as far as we can. Because like Bryant said at the very top of the presentation, we heard you. There were a number of unit leaders who emphatically voiced their feelings about in-person time at unit presentations. So we heard you. And so here's not only a great opportunity for us to like front load our giving campaigns for 2024 to alleviate the pressure and the stress for the district finance teams, but it's also a great day to stand up with the rest of the country and say, yeah, we are interested in showing the world that we care about supporting our community in a very public way. So that yes, we are
Great
planning
answer.
on expanded communications.
Yep, thank you. That's great.
Any other questions or comments or concerns?
Looks like I joined, but I did have a question around, are there specific goals set up per units this year? How is that working?
There are goals, and your district executive has that goal. There's a formula that your district executive can speak to, but that was another piece of the we heard you on our communication side. Our units kind of didn't know what to do with fundraising in 2023 because they didn't know what their goals were because there were none. So yes, every unit has a goal. Your district executive has that, and they should be reaching out to every unit key 3 to communicate what that is.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I'm a fan of fast, punctual meetings. I would say everyone here has everyone here has my email because I sent it to 876 people last Wednesday. So if you have a question that you didn't feel like you could voice here in this meeting, feel free to reply to me and I will either answer it or connect you to the appropriate district resource, i.e. either your district executive or your Longhorn Gives Day district chair people. We have a few of those and they'll be getting their communication chains rolling here pretty quickly. But I encourage you, if you're interested about your district goal, reach out to your district executive. They can provide you that messaging. Like even tonight, they could provide you that messaging. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for sharing 37 minutes of their lives with me. And I'm going to give you the additional 23 minutes back. Dave, do you have any final or parting comments?
I just wanted to say that the way that this is set up, it ensures success for units, and it not only does that in its design, but it also gives an opportunity for units, like you said, to move that giving platform away from blue and gold or a court of honor over to this single day. And a lot can get accomplished in this. And I'm really glad to be here and to be a part of this. This really looks like a recipe for success, and I hope that a lot of folks also see that like I do.
Absolutely. And so with that, I just want to say thank you for all you do for the kids in our communities, because it does have a big impact on the result of adults who volunteered their time. Not an Eagle Scout, but it certainly had the impact to adjust the trajectory of my life permanently. So thank you for all you do for the kids. And I look forward to working with all of you as we work to promote and move forward with our first ever Day of Giving.
Right. Great job, Ryan. Great job, Dave. And as a thank you to all the units, because it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we had about 16, 17 units on the call. We'll make sure to email your unit goals to you, so that you can skip a step, and that's the reward for being on the call with us tonight. So we'll get those unit goals emailed out to you tomorrow.
I see some thumbs up on that one. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Everyone have a great night. We will talk to you soon.